Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the First and Last Podcast. My name is Josh, and with me this week I've got Joe.
Hey, man.
And Jimmy.
What is it that is up, pasta dudes?
Nothing really. I got a fun story, though. It might involve witches.
Ooh.
What?
Yes.
Love a good witching story.
How?
So, the other night,
You saw witches?
I
You
was
watched Hocus Pocus?
No. Let me tell it, Jimmy.
Okay.
I was just hanging out in my living room, and it was like, I don't know, 12:30 at night. And when we have our back windows open, there's like gravel in the back of our building, so you can just hear someone walk. And generally at about like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, you don't hear anybody walk back there too often. But I heard someone like walk back there, and I was like, all right, whatever. Someone's just walking by. But then I heard like a lot of movement. Like they were moving
a cackle?
They were moving like a grill. They were moving like this big grill that we have. And then I sort of like, I was like smelling burning. And I was like, someone lighting a grill at almost 1 in the morning
Sometimes you need smoked meats at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
with a basic grill.
The charcoal.
Just a charcoal
Weber.
regular grill.
Maybe they're making s'mores.
Yeah. And so I was like, what is happening? What? This is weird. And so then I kind of like peek out the window, do the turn off the light,
Yeah.
peek out the window.
Yeah.
And there's just this girl, I think, who I recognize in my building. Like it's like dark, obviously, so I can't quite tell. But I'm like, I think I recognize you. And she's just like ripping, like, or taking paper and like ripping paper and like putting it into the grill. Like she's not making anything. She's just like burning a book.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
12:30 at night.
Yeah. It's
Like
not like a
a-
roaring fire. It's just like she's burning stuff in the grill.
Right. It just gets
Like
really bright
Like a
'cause of-
spell book
for like
of
paper or
spells?
whatnot.
Or a journal or an ex-boyfriend's.
Well, so she burns paper for, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes.
Wow.
And then like puts it out and takes, I don't know, just leaves and just walks away and leaves. And I'm like, that was weird,
Yeah.
but whatever, who cares? The next day I was like taking recycling out, and then I was like, I wonder what's going on with this grill. And like on the ground there was like, as if I was like a treasure hunter, it was like 1/4 of a piece of paper that was like half burned that you could still read some of the words on it.
Perfect.
Was Nick Cage involved?
And I like
in any
looked
way?
at it and I was like, what is this? And I was like, I'm
It's
pretty
the Constitution.
it was it's what I thought it was, and I'm pretty confident it is. And actually I can show you too the piece of paper because I kept it.
Nice.
Um
We'll put it on the Twitter.
I'm pretty confident it is a burnt page of the Bible.
Oh God, I was gonna joke that.
Twist.
And I was like, man, really interesting.
Yeah.
Burning that or whatever. But my girlfriend said that it was nearing or potentially the like last day or one of the days of the full moon.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was.
And
yeah.
apparently, potentially some modern or maybe even post-modern,
Post-punk
That's
modern.
what I mean, but older witches would potentially burn like books or stuff on a full moon for which don't serve them anymore.
Huh.
So potentially we have a person
A
that was just
Wiccan
like going,
ex-Christian.
this Bible doesn't serve me anymore. I'm over it. It's a full moon.
Yeah. She's like, I read it a bunch. It's just like,
Oh, it
I got
has
it
like
memorized.
it has like some highlighter on like.
This is a
Yeah.
bad
Part-
translation.
So long story
I prefer
short,
the King James.
like 2 days ago, someone burnt a Bible at midnight.
Yeah, what?
12:30.
Yeah, what translation? Can I see it?
You're the expert, Jimmy. You can.
I mean,
Oh, that's fun.
So it was just kind of a fun little thing
it
that I
is
was like
fun.
just hanging out, like watching the X-Files or something, probably. And I was like, "What's going on? I smell." Also, Bible. Just I don't want to be weird about it, but the Bible kind of smells pretty good when it burns. Like it was a good smell.
I can see that.
It was like,
Like
fragrant.
It's like an olive oil and
Smelled like the Pope's flesh.
oh
No.
oh
Oh,
God.
too much?
Is
Um,
he dead? Check Twitter.
This ropes in and it fits with today's theme. because
It's Fire Week.
It's Burn Your Bible Week. Such as pictures. No. Because I've decided,
Please do not burn books.
although it's still technically September when this episode comes out, we are officially starting Spooky Month.
Okay.
Oh, yeah?
A week
Yeah.
early.
Didn't tell you.
All right. I mean, I'm all for extra spooky.
So the problem is it's not extra. It's just making sure we have 4 weeks of Spooky Month.
Oh.
Because since this is the 25th episode of season 8, next week is the first and lasties, which is on October 6th. Then we only have 3 more weeks of October to do Spooky Month.
First ever spooky first and lasties? Oh.
What show
Dope.
scared you the most this season? So I figured, so to make sure we get all 4 Spooky Month episodes in, we're gonna start a little early.
I'll allow
Nice.
it.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate
So is it just Power Rangers?
it. The spookiest of them all.
Ghost Force.
Before
Ooh,
I
I'd watch
reveal
that.
to you two gentlemen what the episode is going to be, Joe, what is first and last for anybody that wanted to get a jump on Spooky Month?
The format of the pods, we take a TV show, watch the first episode, and then talk about it, make some predictions, and then skip right to the end and watch the end and see how we did. And also just see how the show changed and see how we changed. And then we reflect on it. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope I grow as a person today.
Yeah. You know.
And I also hope we burn a Bible at some point. But today, for the first episode, I picked Tales from the Crypt.
Ooh.
No way.
Yeah.
This is a streaming thing?
Sure.
Oh,
Okay.
hmm.
Okay.
It's
I made that sound not because I frown upon whatever nefarious Bible burning ways you found this show, but only just disappointed that it's not on a regular streaming service that I
Right.
can easily watch.
Because I
I
feel
mean-
like we've looked before.
both episodes that I found seem to be just on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So more than likely, somebody just has most of the episodes.
Okay. Yeah.
Because
Which we've done for a lot of shows.
we
As
had
long
to
as
do
they
with
got
Mighty
the first and
Max.
last.
Exactly. Because there were 7 seasons and 93 episodes of Tales from the Crypt. It actually was on HBO,
Yeah, I remember that.
which
Mhm.
I don't understand how I was watching this as a kid.
Yeah, it's possible that because I think the same thing. I don't know how I watched this, but it's possible that we've never seen the show, but we've just seen the Crypt Keeper on because I feel like he became a pop culture thing.
But it the entrance is they crawl, they go through the crypt, and then he gets up and he's like,
Oh, that does sound
Isn't that
familiar.
it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll know if it's that. And they say Tales from the Crypt. This is what I remember. Really quick, it was June 1989 to July 1996. So
Okay.
it's also because I wasn't watching it. Born in '85, I wasn't watching it when I was 4 on
Yeah.
HBO. So I guess maybe come late '90s,
Mhm.
there might have been reruns because it was late at night, a Saturday night or something like that.
Yeah, I
Sup-
can see that how they might syndicate it on Sci-Fi or something.
Yeah, maybe it was on
Whatever.
maybe it was on Sci-Fi. Maybe it was I remember watching Hercules and Xena the Warrior Princess around the same time. So it was those two, and then Tales from the Crypt. I feel
Yeah,
like
could be.
so maybe it was a WBCW joint.
I could see that.
Yeah, something like that. So you remember watching this too a little bit growing up,
There's
or
no
just
way.
having it been on?
Yeah, I'm aware of it. I don't remember any episodes, but I do remember the Crypt Keeper himself. And when you said that there's an intro where they are entering the crypt, that sounds familiar.
Yes, yeah. That's what I remember. We'll find out if that's even the right introduction.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's for sure the spooky skeleton guy. Did you mention that?
Yeah, the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah,
The
the Crypt
Crypt
Keeper, obviously.
Right, but he's in other things.
The Crypt Keeper?
Yeah. Well,
Huh.
there's just there's a bunch of spin-offs stuff that he's kind of involved in. It's just-
Okay.
Then there's a movie called Demon Night, maybe it's Demon Night. That's just a movie that I feel like a lot of people, I think that's just on Netflix or something like that. I mean, spin-offs, there's films, there's Tales from the Crypt Keeper, Secrets of the Crypt Keeper's Haunted House. Apparently there's a radio series.
Yeah, I thought that there was a
Dang.
few like Tales from the Crypt movies, because then I feel like there was like a third or fourth movie that was like by the creators, but not billed as a Tales from the Crypt movie. It was just like another horror anthology, and I feel like I've seen that movie.
So Demon Knight, I was right. That is the first one, according to Wikipedia. And then the second film was called Bordello of Blood.
Nice.
And then also a rewrite was done by the X-Files writer. Wait, what is this? For something, Demon Knight producers plan to make a film titled Dead Easy.
Is it like Tales from the Crypt
Whoa.
Demon Knight? Is that? Or
I
no?
think so.
Okay.
Maybe. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, it's got the Crypt Keeper. Like, if you look at the thing, like the Crypt Keeper's like on the cover. Yeah, Tales from the Crypt presents Demon Knight is a 1995 American horror comedy film.
Oh, I think what I'm thinking of.
Billy Zane was in it.
Oh.
He was in a Crypt Tale.
And also Jada Pinkett
In the show?
in Demon Knight.
Oh, in the movie.
Oh,
Cool.
okay. Interesting.
Jimmy, while you were gone for 2 seconds, me and Joe said we're talking about. We remembered I remember seeing it like late at night or anything. Did you come across Tales from the Crypt? It was on from 89 to 96 on HBO.
Oh, on
But
HBO.
But I feel like I wasn't watching it when I was like 10 on HBO, so I must have been watching it when it was like rerun somewhere.
Yeah, I definitely saw this on reruns, and I'm assuming like the Sci-Fi Channel or something.
Yeah, that's kind of what we thought. But
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what we said.
I watched a lot of Sci-Fi Channel when I was in high school.
Saturday morning anime. That's kind of hot, sci-fi.
Well, that's not what I. So early Saturday morning, I would get up and because they played Mystery Science Theater, which is like a 3-hour debacle.
Yeah.
Because I think it was 2. So maybe it's 2 hours. Like, like 2 movies back to back.
Oh, here, Jimmy, like this. The theme music was by Danny Elfman.
Why would I love Danny Elfman?
Why not?
I love Danny Elfman.
Why wouldn't you love Danny
He's a
Elfman?
prolific.
You don't love
he's
Danny Elfman?
the composer, the very popular composer.
Yeah, he is.
You do Batman stuff.
He's fine. Yeah, he did. He did the first couple Batman.
Yeah. Until Prince did. Was it Prince?
No, Prince also did.
The 1984
They're
one.
both. They're both involved.
Teamed up. It's a pretty power. That's a power couple.
I don't. Well, okay, I'll look it up.
So one other thing that obviously I think we all know about Tales from the Crypt that's important to say is that this is obviously some sort of, it's an anthology.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
it's not like
just
there's not going to be plot carryover from the first to the last.
It's just the one episode's a
assume.
story, next episode's a different story. So kind of an anthology series.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if there's,
It's like a Goosebumps. It's a what is it? Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
Each thing is going to
Goosebumps
be
was
a
also a
different
show
tale.
that works. We should do Goosebumps.
Yeah,
Have we
Goosebumps
not?
great too.
Yeah.
No,
Great
we
theme
haven't.
song.
We just did. What's the theme song to Goosebumps?
It's like a lot of keyboard stuff, and then they say Goosebumps.
Ah, sure.
Play it for you later.
Nice. Cool. I'm super pumped.
Yeah.
I was just saying, like, I don't feel like I'm ready for the fall yet, but I'm totally ready for spooky months.
Yeah.
Maybe this will like blast me right into autumn.
I feel like we're gonna watch this. It's gonna be not spooky, too spooky, but kind of fun spooky. And I'm gonna be like, hook me up with some bonfires. Let's go.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they set the tone here with this first episode. Because, how gory is it going to get? How scary? How funny?
Because it was HBO, and that was the big thing. Is since it was on HBO,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't really have. I mean, this is also 1989, so it's
Gonna be campy.
It could go either way. It could be insanely gruesome per se, or it could just be like that's comical because it was 1989. But they push some weird limits
Yeah.
back
Little
then.
both.
Could be sexy.
Could be sexy. Could be spiders.
Could be.
Spooky, sexy
Do you
spiders.
think- How long is the show? It's half an hour?
It's only like a half an hour, yeah.
Okay. Then I guess I picture, I guess I wondered if it was just one story per episode or if it's like two.
According to the titles, it looks like it's only one.
Okay.
So
It's not like a 2-titled episode.
yeah, it's not titled. It's titled one story. So I mean, I guess maybe there's a second. There potentially is, but I think it's only a single story.
Yeah.
Should we just get into it?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. So the first episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Son of a bitch. You guys. Tales from the Crypt. It's called The Man Who Was Death.
Ooh.
Yeah. Starting off hot.
Wow. Spoiler.
So that's what it was called. We're going to watch it and we'll be back after that. And we're back. We're done with the first episode of Tales from the Crypt. It was called The Man Who Was Death. Jimmy, do you have a write-up?
Sure do. This is June 10th, 1989. Real spooky day.
That's right. Spookiest.
Also, according to Wikipedia, the first 3 episodes were aired on the same day.
Nice.
Mm.
And also, it seems like these are all, like, this lists reference to, I think, their actual comic, like, or origin.
Yeah, the show's
So that's
title.
fun.
The show's title is based on the 1950s EC comics of the same name, and most of the content from the show
It's just
was kind of
directly.
pulled from that. So on Wikipedia, you'll see like quote unquote source. So it's like Crypt of Terror number 17 is like where this came
that's
from.
fun.
So they took a lot of the comics and made them shows.
That's fun. Okay, so this one is Niles Talbot, played by William Sadler from
Shawshank.
from Shawshank,
That's how I know him.
for example. Also, I think he's the main bad guy in Die Hard 2.
Oh, he is in Die Hard 2. Yeah.
Okay, anyway. He's been in everything. He is a prison executioner, Niles Talbot is, and he's laid off from his job when the local legislature abolishes the death penalty. From there, he becomes a vigilante, administering his own style of justice to acquitted murder suspects. And then, spoiler, he gets caught doing that and then gets the chair because they, conveniently reestablished the death penalty just in time.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're fine. We're going to do the death penalty again
Which
for you.
I thought like there was going to be an extra like spooky twist that like really they hadn't like reinstated it, and like just his old boss was just murdering him.
Oh.
He's kind of a creep.
He almost like in a way picked up his mantle by
Yeah.
killing the guy
Yeah.
that was doing the stuff. That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, or the new executioner just could have like also turned out to be a murderer of the same vigilante justice.
This is true.
They could have done a lot of things here, is all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Silent Joe, what did you think about it?
Spooky enough? Sexy enough?
Very spooky, very sexy.
There was a surprisingly large amount of boobs.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Not surprised. It's HBO. It's not TV.
Yeah,
Um,
but we watched it on YouTube, so that was weird.
trying to
Now
think
it's gonna
of
get flagged.
like what the like fable here is, because there's with these types of like anthologies, it's supposed to be some sort of lesson, right?
Don't
I mean,
trust your local executioner.
Murdering people if they're acquitted from things is bad, and you'll also get punished.
Yeah, I think it's just as simple as just like what goes around comes around. Like,
Yeah.
don't take pleasure in other people's misery because like you might be next.
I mean, I don't know if I don't think he was taking pleasure in it, Joe. He was really
Oh, he was
enjoying it.
definitely.
He was having a great
Okay,
time.
well here's my thing is wasn't the last gal when he got caught, he was in this, he's like walking into this place, which
Strip
you don't
club.
realize at
He was at a
first.
strip club.
Yeah, but you don't realize it at first. It looks like just like a packed bar, and he's
Uh-huh.
talking about how if I want a woman, I'll just go out and get one. Blah blah blah. and then he's like, and then you see like then there's just strippers around, but I swear he was saying like that he knew this girl, and like because the other people he killed, he was like in the courtroom when they got not guilty verdicts. And then he just went out and killed them because he thought they were guilty.
He was in the courtroom as they got acquitted, and then he killed them using electricity, like was his previous job that he just got fired from.
Very
like
easily linked.
The man should have just was like throwing loaves of bread out as he was walking, like, you know?
Yeah, to catch him.
Yeah. Ridiculous. But what about the last girl?
I'm pretty sure he was saying that this girl just like turned him down or something, and he was just gonna murder her.
Okay.
So I think maybe there is some sort of moral of like you go down this vigilante road, but then like where's the end? You know? And it just,
yeah, that too.
If he would have just stayed killing murderers, then he would have been fine.
Yeah, just kill the bad people.
Well, yeah, because he.
Who you decide is bad.
His moral guidelines started to slip, where it was like when he was in the job, he was, throwing the switch for people who had been convicted of murder. But then when he was off, kind of doing his own thing, the first one was someone who had gotten away with murder based on a technicality. So the judge threw the case out, but he had clearly like murdered someone. The next one was, I think a man, did he murder his ex-wife or did he leave his ex-wife?
I think like him and his new girlfriend murdered the ex-wife, basically.
But they were found not guilty. It wasn't any sort of technicality. There was just like something in the case that they're actually found not guilty.
They couldn't prove it without a reasonable doubt.
Right. So he killed them, which is, one step lesser. He still found them guilty, but
they like admitted to it right before he killed them too, basically. So
yeah, she totally the like new like mistress totally just like turned on him. It was like, it was his idea. He did it. I didn't know he was gonna do it.
But yeah, then by the third one, there's no actual crime. He's just deciding who's guilty and not.
Just trying to murder ladies with their boobies out.
Don't do that. I liked I kind of liked him. He was a big actor ish back then, right? This is HBO, so I feel like besides the fact that it was in like 4:3, which obviously just dates older TV shows for sure,
right?
But it seemed like it had some like good production, and like he was like talking to the camera, and it had some like good kind of like cinematography at some times where things were like he kind of like slid into frame while he was like talking, and it was kind of a good balance.
Definitely
of
higher budge,
his inner thoughts and stuff. So it was well laid out. It wasn't just like it wasn't like, are you afraid of the dark budget? It was like it probably really seemed like a good HBO show in 1989.
Sure.
Is what I believe. So for the most part, I did enjoy it.
You know what else Bill Sadler is in? He's the Grim Reaper in the Bill and Ted's movies.
Oh. Yeah, he is. I can see the face now, painted white.
He's just a good guy at playing death.
The man who was death played death in Bill and Ted. I don't know, Joe, did you enjoy it, or were you kind of whatever about it? I feel like you're on the fence.
Yeah, on the fence. I get it. I guess I was hoping for something a little bit more either spooky or more of a twist or something.
Yeah, definitely no twist basically whatsoever. The quote unquote twist was like the governor said no more executions, and then the governor turned him back on.
The twist is that he gets his comeuppance, which you expect him to get his comeuppance eventually, right?
Right. But I figured he would be dead by the end of this somehow, whether or not he somehow killed himself on accident or whatever. But so yeah, that was that. I mean, it definitely wasn't scary.
Yeah,
there was no spook.
The other thing, I guess, in like the like X what's the word I'm looking for? how this gets worse and worse and is like murdering people is the first two he murdered people just like at their homes or something.
In private.
In private. And then he's about to electrocute this woman in her like a go-go cage in this packed bar.
She already doesn't want to be at work, you know.
No one does. So he's obviously gone off the rails. I mean, the fact that he's murdering people.
I mean, he like enjoyed being the executioner. He was a little bit off, like from
maybe the other moral is like he loses his job because to no fault of his own, and then he goes and begs for his like old job as like this just because he said he's just an electrician for this prison, and they're like, nah, like we have somebody, you trained her. And so then they let him go. So then, maybe just treat your employees better. Maybe that's the moral.
I guess, yeah, that's an interesting angle, especially for the time, right? For 1989 of like, I don't know. I just feel like I wasn't really a working person at that time. But I feel like that might be a common theme of just like, layoffs happening and you sort of like lose your spot and position and there's no way to get back into like the rat race. That feels like a very 80s theme.
You'd think with having like some solid knowledge of like a trade, like being an electrician or something, you'd probably be able to find, like you could find a job like that today,
Yeah.
Like you always need an electrician, right?
Well, his boss was saying like, oh, well, like because of the job you took after that, like looks bad. So it wasn't because of his lack of skill or anything.
Oh, so no one would want to hire the electrician that was an executioner? I mean, no one needs to know that.
Prison.
Yeah.
He was saying, especially like at the prison, like it wouldn't be a good look to have you around. You rile up the prisoners. They know what you did. Is basically what he said.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I don't think he'd be looked at very well for a lot of people. I mean, how many prisoners would know? Like, because there's obviously like a death row, right, or something like that
probably
in
not
general.
hanging out on those other
So only the people
cells?
on death row would know that he was the executioner. It's not like he has pictures on the wall, being like,
I don't know. He seemed like the type of guy to like put this picture on the wall.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of a douche. He's probably flaunting it around the whole prison.
I mean,
good times. I was into it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what your just general thoughts were, Jimmy.
Generally, I guess it was late 80s spooky. So I was kind of expecting, honestly, like from HBO, even in like the 80s, that there would be some like a little more like gore or something that like you wouldn't. Like, I guess he swore a lot, and there were boobs. That's the thing that made it.
There were boobs, and like he was electrifying people, so it's not like there was going to be blood explosions or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I kind of expected blood explosions, like, even though it doesn't make sense. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I think just the fact that it's Tales from the Crypt, I assumed gore from an 80s
right
thing.
Yeah. One other thing to mention is that what I said earlier about that whole like intro sequence with the Crypt Keeper like screaming at the end and like it going in like the whole music thing or whatever, that didn't happen in this episode.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's not a thing. Maybe it's just because of the first episode it wasn't on there, but we didn't see it in this one.
Also could have just been edited by whoever uploaded this.
Sure, could have just
yeah, unexpected ending as well.
No, wait.
Yeah.
Yes, we should probably mention. We should probably give a shout out.
Heyo.
To Finnish horror band Shout, who
they were Finnish. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought there's no way these people are like first language English.
Yeah, just speaking. Whoever uploaded. I mean, there's a few of these uploads to YouTube, but the one that we watched was uploaded by this guy who apparently has a band, like a spooky horror band. And at the end of the Tales from the Crypt episode, there's just like go watch our new music video.
And we did.
And we did. And it was not great, but I put it on my spooky playlist because it's good enough.
Because you have to.
It's good enough. Yeah, so I mean, not bad. Could be more spooky. It was like an adult tame version of like a Are You Afraid of the Dark, really.
And if they're rolling out 3 of these episodes same night, like, yeah, I'll stick around for the next episode.
Well, yeah, and so just for fun, I'll read to you guys what the next 2 episodes on June 10th were on HBO. The second one was called And All Through the House. It's a greedy, philandering housewife kills her second husband for his insurance money. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I'm going to keep reading. It's only a couple sentences. Upon getting rid of the body, she's unexpectedly attacked by an escaped mental patient dressed as Santa Claus.
Yeah, I was going to say there's got to be a Christmas connection.
Who has been going around killing women. She soon fears that her young daughter may be the psychotic Santa's next victim. So that was the second episode that night.
Cool.
And then the third one is called Dig That Cat, He's Real Gone. A carnival daredevil known as Ulrich the Undying is buried alive for his grand finale. I think I've seen this one. Through a series of flashbacks, he tells the viewers how he was formerly a homeless vagrant who had undergone a doctor's experiment in order to transfer a cat's gland into his brain, giving him 9 lives and the ability... Yeah, I have seen this one. And the ability to temporarily resurrect a number of times. However, during his final stunt, he suddenly remembers he may have miscounted, and it's his 9th life.
Oh.
Yeah, I've 100% seen that one.
See, that real
sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not spooky or anything, but it's kind of fun because he, like, you just watch him die 8 times, and then he's like, oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of ends with him like, ah.
That's great.
Yeah. That's a good twist.
And that's also like another thing about, like, I love a horror anthology, whether it's a TV show or just like a movie that has like 3 or 4 stories in it, because it's like you get like a fun idea like that and you get to like work it all out, and it's not like
you don't have to drag it up for an entire season.
Yeah, or even an entire movie. Like some ideas just like aren't like, it's a fun idea, but it's not a good enough idea for an 80-minute movie.
Yeah, half an hour is fine.
Yeah, half an hour, perfect.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, those were those ones. So they're fun. I definitely seen those. So the last episode, before we get into predictions, what we do know is, because I was doing research, I was just trying to make sure we could find it and we could watch it. It's called The Third Pig. It was a 93rd episode called The Third Pig from July 19th, 1996, but it is the animated, it's the only animated episode of Tales from the Crypt ever made, and it's the final episode of the show. So
it killed it. It killed the whole show.
It killed it
by existing.
Yeah, no, this is the only animated episode in the series. Its animation was provided by Nelvana, who also did the animation spin-off Tales from the Crypt Keeper. So there was a animation spin-off.
Nelvana. That sounds familiar.
Does it?
Is there like a polar bear icon for Nelvana?
Yeah, there is.
Man.
Why do you know that?
I don't know. They must have done a show that like I've seen.
They've been around since the 70s.
Where's the Wikipedia? Canadian animation studio. Clone High.
Oh,
Nice.
you love Clone High.
Bob and Margaret, which I don't know, and Committed, which I don't know.
I've heard of Barbara Margaret.
Is it really just Clone High that I know from this?
Good Lord.
Nelvana has a planet named after them in the Star Wars series. That's weird.
That's fun.
So going into this final episode, all 3 of us know that it is called The Third Pig, and it is also animated, because I feel like that somehow changes our predictions a little bit. And I found that out while doing my research, and it's just not fair to keep those advantages. Speaking of advantages, I'm going to do my predictions first.
Do it.
All right. Number 1, it's called The Third Pig, so I think one pig kills the other 2 pigs, because I assume this is based off 3 Little Pigs.
Yeah.
You think
You
the third
think?
pig does, or
I mean,
one of
I'm
the
not. I
pigs?
said one of the
Okay.
pigs
Okay.
kills the 2 other pigs, or is
Okay.
like at least involved in killing the pigs. Number 2, I think probably that same pig teams up with the fox, because right is that the wolf?
Wolf.
It's a wolf. That's
Okay.
what I mean. I think there's just an abundance of cartoon gore in this.
Okay.
Oh, what do we say? Blood explosions.
Yeah.
Blood
I had-
explosions.
yeah,
Blood explosions.
And number 4, it's cartoon. Why not? Let's throw it in an octopus monster.
Nice.
It's time.
It's time. Those are my 4.
I had
Yeah.
predicts based on the characters. So
Okay.
I have that. Well, no, I'm
Characters
trying to find my
from
draft. Here we go.
Characters from
Yeah.
the story of the 3 little
Yeah,
pigs.
yeah. So I've got one for the wolf and then one for each of the pigs. I have that the wolf makes a bacon joke. It just seems like in the zone of the show to make
Missed
a
opportunity.
pig/bacon joke. And then one for each of the pigs. I think pig number 1, who builds his house out of straw, is a farmer. Pig number 2, who builds his house out of wood, is a carpenter. And then pig number 3, who builds his house out of bricks.
Mason.
Pig number 3 raps.
like Eminem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just full on.
What's
he's a
his rap
rapper.
name?
Big pigster.
Big Bangster.
We can workshop this.
I thought you were gonna say Lil Piggy.
Notorious P.I.G.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I mean,
I knew it was in there somewhere.
if it was a Looney Tunes, that would definitely be his rap name.
I mean, that's what I'm assuming from this is basically just Looney Tunes.
But gore.
Yeah, hopefully, because I have predictions. So my number 1, I think there's going to be a smoking cartoon character.
Okay.
Because-
probably smoking a stogie.
Yeah, or just a straight up, just a Marlboro. Like, because when I think of, when I was trying to envision what this is going to be, this is going to be really stupid, but I think of the beginning of Mrs. Doubtfire, where Robin Williams he's pissed because he's doing his voiceover and his character's smoking, and he's like, "You're showing this to kids," and so I can't get that out of my head. So I think, it's HBO and it's animated, so it's probably going to be a smoking character, right? Hopefully. Number 2, I think we see a wolf gore pigs. I don't know what the verb is, but I'm saying he gores them.
Gores the hell out of them. Because
He-
gore is like when you're like a bull and you like charge into things. That's goring.
Is that goring?
Yeah.
Well,
But what you mean is he like makes some gory violence of the pigs.
You're
yeah.
seeing as a wolf's going to show some pig's blood.
Yeah, I hope so. And then I also have that the third pig gores the wolf.
Okay.
Maybe with horns. Who
Could
knows?
be.
Who's to say?
He puts on bull's horns and gores the wolf.
Maybe. So I don't know if you guys will give me this one or not, but I said that even like the intro, that like it'll be an animated Crypt Keeper.
If it is, I honestly was wondering whether or not we were going to get a regular
Do you think
intro
that's- is
or
it-
not, or if
okay.
they were going to animate the whole thing. So I would give
Do you
that to
think
you. if
that's good enough?
I think so, because I'm up in the air. Because
Okay.
they might do a regular intro and then be like, haha, it's animated,
Yeah, that's what I would assume, that they would just do the regular bit, but that's okay.
But we'll see if they don't.
Okay.
And you can get a point then.
I did have a 5th one just in case you didn't allow that one to me, and that's an electrocution bookend.
All right. Well,
Mhm.
I mean, keep them all.
Dope.
Pork daddy.
I just are you still trying to come up with
Like
pig
so,
names?
so P
Oh my
Daddy,
God.
Like
pork
Puff-
Diddy.
Pork Diddy.
Pork Daddy Combs.
Master Pork.
I'm glad that you're still going. I'm glad you're still going. Well, listeners, we're gonna be back in a little bit. We're gonna watch this last episode.
Diddy.
Brainstorm some more pig rapping names, and we'll be back after that. And we're back. We're done with the final episode of Tales from the Crypt, a little old cartoon called The Third Pig. Jimmy, do you have a write-up?
Yeah. It's July 19th, 1996. In an animated edition of The Three Little Pigs, narrated by the Crypt Keeper himself, the Big Bad Wolf, voiced by Bobcat Goldthwait,
Which was amazing.
slaughters Drinky Pig, which is Brad Garrett, or
Raymond's brother from Everybody Loves Raymond.
and Smoky Pig.
I don't know
voiced
what.
by-
I don't know. I couldn't figure
Yeah.
out where he was
He
from.
didn't have many lines.
He's too busy
Okay.
smoking.
Yeah, Charlie Adler is his name. Leaving the third pig, Dudley, voiced by Cam Clark, accused of the murders and found guilty by a rigged jury of wolves. With the ghosts of his dead brothers helping him escape, Dudley plans to take revenge on the big bad wolf by using a laboratory once owned by a mad scientist to create a zombie pig. Also Brad Garrett. Apparently. Yeah. And then the zombie eats the wolf, and then Dudley decides he realizes he's created a monster and needs to kill the zombie pig. I think he did, right?
He did, because he like stabbed it in the head, right?
Stabbed it a lot.
But then the wolf like pops out of the corpse of the zombie pig, and then he eats Dudley in a sandwich.
Yeah, puts him in
Oh,
a loaf of
that's
bread.
how that happened?
Mm-hmm.
This is the very last thing we saw.
Yeah, it happened very fast. I don't think I understood what I was watching. So the wolf was the zombie pig the whole time?
No, I just think he was in the zombie pig's stomach.
Yeah, because he was eaten by the
Because
the
he was
zombie
eaten
pig.
by him
Yeah.
whole.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, chew your food next time. That's the moral of this story.
Moral of this story: chew your food, boys and girls.
Excellent.
I mean, it kind of felt like almost an episode of like Ren and Stimpy with smoking, drinking, and a little profanity.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I was trying to think. So, I mean, I guess there were other adult cartoons in the 90s. Is that what they were going for here? They're trying to catch the, like, Beavis and Butthead craze? Or what?
I think that animation is cheaper than live action shorts, and it's just kind of a way to transition of like, all right, this show's ending, but like we could keep this brand going. Maybe we'll just transition to an animated show. Maybe
Try to get a spin.
build a longer or a younger audience and just keep it going a little longer. And then that maybe this last episode was, a way to kind of transition that and see if people would follow along.
Yeah, they do a lot of that stuff. Like we've seen shows like their last episode is like almost like the pilot episode of a new show.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it's like just end the show.
Yeah.
You're what, you know?
Uh-huh.
Right.
But I mean, it's not like they were gonna like, I don't know, kill the Crypt Keeper or anything and
Mhm.
do anything like that. So they just did a different one. It is weird though that they just did an animated one for the very last one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that is definitely odd. I
Seemed
think
unnecessary.
I don't remember when the movies took place, or like where they were. Like when was Demon Knight? It was 95, so that was before the end of this, So
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's not like they ended the show and then made the movie
Yeah. Yeah.
or anything. So I mean, yeah, it was fun. It was oddly funny,
Mm-hmm.
Far less spookier than the first one,
Mm-hmm.
probably because of the bright cartoon
Mm-hmm.
that we were watching.
I mean, very violent.
Very
Very
violent.
and gory. Yeah.
Yeah. Absurd amount of
Mhm.
cartoon violence for sure.
It didn't seem like, I was searching for like the fable in the first one. It didn't really seem like there was any sort of thought towards that of like a fable or lesson or like one line summary gotcha of this story. It was just kind of like, it's a fucked up story. It's a fucked up version of the Three Little Pigs.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
pretty much, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he did say it was Brothers Grimm, which, have you actually read any of those, like, fables? Because, like, the actual, like, original ones are all actually, like, super effed up. Like Hansel and Gretel and stuff.
Oh yeah, like they're actually like
way more effed up than, like, the fairy tales that we have heard of those versions of
yeah,
things.
they're like actual stories that like scare children.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's actual gore and zombie pigs in the original. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's also kind of weird because if you look through Wikipedia and just kind of see like what the source of most of the stories were, they're all from some version of those comics, like Haunt of Fear, Vault of Horror, Shock, suspense stories. Like those are all comics. Tales from the Crypt, obviously, some sort of comic. And then this one is just the Three Little Pigs. So besides like the one or two original scripts that are in Tales from the Crypt, all of them are from like those 1950s EC comic things, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then this last one is for some reason an adaptation of the Three Little Pigs.
So they just ran out of stories they wanted to do and started doing fairy tales.
I mean, yeah,
Let's
maybe,
try
I don't
this
know.
out.
It's just like, yeah, it's odd. It's odd that they did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of feel like I got cheated out of like one more Tales from the Crypt episode.
Yeah.
Right. No, trust me, before I was like cartoon, I was like, maybe it's going to be like great, but maybe not. It'll feel weird. It kind of almost I feel like it kind of took us out. We're really easing into spooky month,
Mm-hmm.
really easing
Yeah.
into it.
Smoothing into it.
Well, the one we would have watched, the one was before it. Like, if, say we just was like, we got cheated. We're going to watch a live action one. It was called Ear Today, Gone Tomorrow. And I'll read this one just for fun. Glenn Fennell, a gambling safecracker who suffers from impaired hearing after a beating in prison, finds himself getting entangled in a deadly game between crime boss Malcolm Lawson and his exotic wife, Kate, who turn out to implant animal features into human bodies in an effort to boost his subordinates' abilities. Eventually, Glenn is given the auditory system of an owl, but Glenn's new condition soon displays some unusual side effects.
He's part owl.
So it would have been like what is that, the Secret Island of Dr. Moreau or something?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the one? Is that the Val Kilmer? No, that's
Kiss, kiss, bang, bang.
no. There's two movies. There's like that
Batman
Secret
Forever?
Island of the Dude, but then there's also like the, what is it called? Like the Ghost and the Darkness. I think that's just like a movie about a lion in Africa. That Val
Ghost in
Kilmer's
the
in.
Darkness. I have a weird, like, I really loved that movie as a kid because it's Val Kilmer and oh god, why can't I think of
Sean Connery.
his name? He's Ant-Man, not Paul Rudd.
Not Paul Rudd?
Oh my god.
Michael Douglas?
Yeah, Michael
Michael
Douglas. And it's actually about like a real thing that happened. I don't know that Michael Douglas is because he played like Remington, like the actual guy, like Hunter. I don't think he was actually involved in these lions, but there was actually like these lions that were killing humans, like tons of them. Val Kilmer's
And then
got
they
'em.
made a Michael Douglas Val Kilmer movie
Val
about
Kilmer's. Speaking of wacky stars and things, have you guys scrolled through these episodes of this show at all? Because like the 7th?
it. Really quick.
Yeah.
The reason why I confuse the Island of Dr. Moreau and Ghost and Darkness is Val Kilmer's in both of them. Just that way.
Yes,
He's in
okay.
both.
Yeah.
Well, 6 degrees of Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
So
But sorry,
like,
what were you saying?
I don't recognize most of the people in episode 7. Or sorry, season 7 of this last season.
This episode we just watched?
But like leading up to that, from like season 3 on, there's like a ton of recognizable actors. So like Catherine O'Hara is in season 6. Oh, we talked about Corey Feldman and I already forgot his name. Bill Sadler apparently makes a Bill and Ted's Grim Reaper cameo.
Yeah, in season 6, right?
Bill Bill Paxton, I'm seeing in season 5.
If Bill Paxton was there, Bill Pullman was probably not far behind.
If not before, right? I'm pretty sure I saw Brad Pitt on here.
Hey man, it was HBO.
Oh, that'd be a big pull.
Is this season 4, episode 9? Brad Pitt. Oh God, what's his name? Joe Pesci is in that season as well. I saw Whoopi Goldberg. I mean, it's just crazy. I guess you got that HBO money, which also leads me to believe. Ooh, Tim Roth. I like him too.
So you like celebrity cameos?
You got money.
Or young celebrities?
Yeah, maybe they
Up
were
and
just,
comers.
maybe HBO was trying to do their own, like animated, like you said.
Like young up and comers, like Whoopi Goldberg and Brad Pitt. This show's for you. Yeah, I would be interested in like watching another one that's more of a live action, maybe somewhere in the middle, where the footing is down. They know what's up. We can watch the intro. I think because we were watching on YouTube because somebody just like loaded them all on YouTube. I think they rightfully so basically just cut out the theme song so they wouldn't get wouldn't crack down.
Get flagged.
So I guess that makes sense.
Smart.
Because then we watched the theme song afterwards just to make sure it existed.
Yeah, gotta have the intro.
Solid intro. It's good. Spooky.
What do you think, Joe? You gonna watch any more of this?
I mean, I'm definitely intrigued in just like some more adult
Animation.
yeah. I mean, a more adult anthology, kind of like Are You Afraid of the Dark, which maybe more adult. I mean, based on the descriptions we read, it's like a little bit more grounded too, like a little less ghosts and vampires and werewolves, but just like a dude who's a fucking murderer. Or like, yeah, things like that.
A little too real.
Yeah. You can do a quick Google search and obviously find out what the best episodes of this show are. So I'm curious on that. According to IMDb, What's Cooking? It looks like season 8.5, or it got an 8.5. So, I mean, even the highest rating episode isn't even in the 9s.
8.5, solid.
8.5.
Pretty good.
I mean, I think 8.5 deserves a look, though, for most things.
I mean, 22 minutes plus you get like a little like cheesy Guar music video at the end. So
absolutely
bonus.
Yeah. Well, if you watch it from I don't even remember what the YouTube channel you were watching it on, but they're hilarious.
What's Cooking is season 4, episode 6. Meatloaf.
Oh, there you go.
it.
Boom.
Also Judd Nelson, so that's
Wait,
fun.
Meatloaf. I might have seen this one. I feel like I've seen a Meatloaf one.
Art LaFleur. Oh, Christopher Reeve.
Same episode?
Yeah, this is all the same episode.
Wow.
Freaking Superman's in it? Gotta watch.
Superman versus Meatloaf?
As Superman? No.
Superman as Superman
versus
in
Meatloaf. I would watch that.
All right. Well, there you go. Start Spooky Month. All right. Watch the Meatloaf episode of our, I want to keep calling it Are You Afraid of the Dark? It really does. Like, even though it is on HBO and there's definitely some interesting things, it's just like not spooky or scary enough where it does just seem like kind of just like a slightly more adult version of like those kids' scary shows. It's really what it feels like.
With a kooky skeleton narrator who's really into puns. Really into puns.
Well, and that's what I think makes it feel like it is just an adult version of those, because it's just so silly right off the bat.
It's
making pork puns all over the place. Definitely smell a pig product of some type.
What is that from?
Wayne's World.
It is Wayne's World. Okay. Nice.
Ha ha ha. Cop, pig. I get it. You guys are funny. Watch Wayne's World, listeners. It's a great movie. One of the best. Yeah, I mean, interesting. It was obviously a left turn from the first episode. Crypt Keeper was still regular. They didn't animate the intro and outro for him.
No.
So that was
To
kind of
my chagrin.
yeah. So that was that. Yeah, I'd be curious to watch another one. I mean, you know, it's a weird, messed up cartoon.
Actually, you know what? In August of, like, right after this ended, it says Bordello of Blood
Yeah, it's a movie.
is the movie, but it lists IMDb for whatever reason lists it in as episode 14 of season 7 as the next episode, but it's just an hour and a half long.
I mean,
Also
they
has
probably
Corey
put it. They
Feldman.
probably. I mean, if they made the movie, it's probably released on. You think that came to theaters, or did it just come out on
Might have just
HBO?
been HBO. It also, okay, but to be fair, it also lists in 2002 as season 7, episode 15, the movie called Ritual, starring Tim Curry, which sounds awesome.
I mean, that's great. Anything Tim Curry's in is going to be great.
So I'd watch those things.
Yeah. Me too. Should we see how we did for predictions?
Yeah.
I did okay. Prediction number 1 is one pig kills the other 2. He re-killed technically the conglomeration of the other 2, but that's not what I meant. Number 2, pig teams up with the wolf. He definitely did not. No pigs teamed up with the wolf.
No.
Mm.
Very anti-wolf.
Very anti-wolf.
Mhm.
This one I did get correct though. There was just a ton of cartoon gore,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and that was it was cartoon blood abound.
Yep.
So I'm taking it. And then my 4th one was octopus monster. I saw no creatures of the sea in this episode.
No, it was pretty much just like, I guess there were a couple bunnies in the bar, but it was all wolves and pigs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the wolf judge we didn't mention because they brought the the smart pig to court for murdering his brothers because it was like this weird wolf world where the wolves were all in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the judge, who was a wolf, was the voice of Leonardo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon back in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
And that was awesome. And once I knew it,
And
I
the
couldn't.
third pig, right? Or no?
No.
Oh.
Oh, wait, sorry. The third pig was the voice of Leonardo.
Mm-hmm.
The wolf judge was the voice of Winnie, the Pooh.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right.
Which it didn't sound. He didn't sound like him, and I only
No.
did it. But like once you like heard it too, you could kind of hear a little Winnie the Pooh in it, which was
I don't,
really
I don't know the Pooh voice well enough.
Yeah. So, but I'm taking 1 point.
Okay.
Nice.
I think I had a 0 because I had the wolf makes a bacon joke, which there was a bacon reference, but not by the wolf. Pig 1 is a farmer, and he was not. He was a smoker. Pig 2 is a carpenter, and instead he was what? Oh, a drinker.
A drinker.
Yeah. And then Pig
Smoky
3
and drinky.
raps, and he was definitely no 2 pork.
Oh.
Snoop Piggy Pig.
Two
Nah,
pork
okay,
Shakur.
nice.
Ham and ham.
All right, did
Car-
you just make a list?
How many did you write down?
Okay, keep going.
Carnitas West. Soldier Oink.
Okay.
Piggy Elliot.
I don't know why that one seems mean. I don't know
0 points for
And-
Joe.
And Fat Joe.
why. Nice. LL Cool Pig.
You know, you're stealing rappers' names and making them pigs. You're not even creating your
That's
own.
exactly
pig.
what I'm
Yeah.
doing. That's what. Okay. I have. Oh, my first one was a smoking cartoon.
You're right. That was 2
And,
seconds in.
It was very much
Mm-hmm.
way more smoking than I anticipated. Literally, the character's name was Smokey. Then I said number 2, Wolf Gores Pigs, which really, really grotesquely, if that's a word. Then I thought Animated Crypt Keeper, which no, he doing his normal thing. Then I said the third pig gores the wolf, and that did not happen. The zombie pig ate the wolf, but he was fine apparently.
He ate him whole. He did bite off his chest. We did see the wolf's heart before the zombie, the Franken pig, like ate him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did something to him first.
But apparently that was not a mortal wound, and then he swallowed him whole, and then
yeah, totally fine.
that was all she wrote for the smart pig.
Because then he killed Dudley.
Yep.
So, okay. Anyway, doesn't matter. Then my last one was an electrocution bookend, which no one was electrocuted. So, I got 2.
2. Okay. Not bad, though.
Mark
Strong finish.
Mark it, dude.
Strong finish to the season, Jimmy.
Hey, thanks.
And next week, we unveil who the winner is of season 8. Who could it be? We're postponing some scary month, spooky month for 1 week to do the first and lasties next week to end season 8. And then the first 3 weeks of season 9 are the conclusion of spooky month.
That's
so
fun.
hold on to your butts.
We're watching Jurassic
Watching
Park
Jurassic
movies.
Park.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. Gotta get reacquainted and learn what we did and tabulate these scores.
Yeah, how are you?
I got them written
Keeping-
down for the most
okay.
part. Besides the one that I wasn't in.
There was just one.
He's going to use AI to tabulate the scores. Machine learning.
That's right.
They're learning.
The machine
Clever
is
girl.
my finger hitting play and my ear listening.
We got 1 million points.
Yeah, pretty sure you didn't.
Save you time.
Thanks. Appreciate it. So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. Final TV show, episode 8. First episode of Spooky Month. All kinds of things this episode is. If you want to give us some show suggestions or just hit us up for any reason whatsoever, you can do that at F&L Podcast on the Gmail or on the Twitters. And that's that. Stay tuned next week for the first and last these 8. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
I feel like P. Diddy just by itself, that's a decent pig rap name.